All right. Hey, man. We are live. Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. How is everybody doing this evening on this gorgeous Saturday evening in Austin, Texas? Tonight, we are in the great state of Utah with the team called Unknown Investigators, which is a very unusual name, but we're going to get with these guys in a minute. Uh, uh, Actually, this is only the second time I've ever met a paranormal team out of Utah. Uh, Now, I don't know if there's plenty of you guys up there, but this is the only second time that I've met some of these investigators from the state of Utah. But you know what? Uh, I'm curious to see what's going on up there, man, because they have so much uh, land, undiscovered land up there. With undiscovered land, man, there's an opportunity, to discover a lot of stuff. But then, they have that historic site up there in Utah. I'm not going to speak the name, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And you guys have Dugway Proving Ground. That sounds creepy within itself. But anyway, hey, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about all the platforms you guys are podcasting live onto tonight. Then we're going to jump right into the questions. And so feel free, hold on. If you guys want to get a drink or something, you got a minute, and I will be right back.
May I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, we're back, man. Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, and like I told you guys earlier, we're in the great state of Utah. Is any of you guys Utah Utes fans? The University of Utah?
Not really.
Not particularly, no.
We're not big sports people.
Oh, well, I was about to get you, man, because
Okay.
I'm a big Oregon fan, man, and it's something about those Ducks. But anyway, hey,
Yeah.
all right. Who is the leader of the team? Hey, let me get with the leader. Let me talk to him. Let me see his face. Let me smile. Hey, okay, thumbs up. Hey, man, tell me a little bit. Tell me a little bit why you started this team, and how long have you guys been investigating?
I started this team just last year, but I started it because we actually have been doing it for a long time, over 15 years. And pretty much we're just doing it for fun. And we did it before even YouTube or the internet was really a thing. Pretty much, really, I just came up in my head like, hey, why don't we just start a YouTube channel and just go see more places and just kind of get somewhere with it? And I just did it one day. I just told everyone about it. I created the name. I made the YouTube channel. I created the TikTok, the Facebook, everything. And then I just started contacting places, and pretty much that's how it all really started. It was just like, why can't we just make this more of a business than just, we could still have fun, but make it a business at the same time.
There you go. I mean, that's how everything else starts, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's how Michael Dell started, in the back of his car, selling computer parts. I mean, that's how, I don't know how Amazon got started. He probably stole some luggage or something and sold it. Hell, I don't know. But yeah,
For real.
that's how things get started, man. Okay, and have you guys? It's only three of y'all. Is there more, or is it just you three?
Uh, Technically, it's just me and him, really, majority of the time. Other people have financial issues and families and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
it, when there's an opportunity, I let everyone know. If they can't make it, they can't make it. It is what it is. But uh, technically, it's just three of us at the moment. There's other family members that we have. We let them know if they want to come or not. They can, but everyone has their own life and their own things. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it now is it difficult to have to find paranormal investigators in Utah? Now I know Utah is a big religious state. You got that big church up there. Do people sometimes, nah, we're not interested, or there's an abundance of people say, yeah, man, I would like to join what you got going on.
there's honestly in Utah, there's a lot of paranormal groups, a lot, and uh, the problem is there's not a whole lot of places to investigate at, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not anymore. There used to be a lot more places, but the state's kind of decided to start getting rid of all these places that are highly haunted, or maybe they're abandoned and haunted. They're just like, all right, it's haunted, it's abandoned, let's just tear it down, let's get rid of it, it's gone. There used to be a lot of really cool places, but yeah, there's a lot of people too that are like, I have problems or I'm having ghost issues, but they're really religious. They don't want, they're like, it's a no, bad juju kind of situation. So it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways.
Well,
Uh,
the thing is, do you guys have a historical society up there where they supposed to preserve places with history, especially big locations where the state can't go in or the city just can't go in and knock them down.
I feel like, well, we do, but I feel like they care more about, like state or city buildings more than just, normal buildings. Because there was one building that the business for a while was called Porter's Place, and that building had been there since like the 50s or 60s, and it was on the original Main Street in Lehi, Utah. And they just recently, was it like 2 years ago, 3 years,
Yeah.
or was it longer?
It was 3 or 4 years
But
ago.
that building's been there since I was born, and they just recently knocked that down too. And a lot of the really original buildings that were there on Main Street are starting to get knocked down and rebuilt into other things. So it's kind of disappointing to see all this history going away.
Interesting. Now, as paranormal investigators, just because you knock a building down, that don't mean that whatever's there is going to go away.
No, it doesn't.
That's true.
It disappoints me because I love the architecture and stuff, and like these are historic buildings that I like to, see around, and to see these, really beautiful old buildings just get knocked down and have an office building put in its place. It's like, to me, it's like, why you could have made an office building out of that without knocking it down,
But that's also that's the problem. Also, is that they rebuild on it and it's turned into places that you can't investigate at. So even if it was there at one point and they rebuilt something there, a lot of these places you can't investigate at that location. Yeah, the spirits still roam around there, but these places are not going to just be like, yeah, you could just do a paranormal investigation here. It's really there's a lot of places that don't do that. They're not open to that. They are strictly for business, and that is it.
Yeah. And a lot of the places that are preserved and historical, they've made basically off limits to everyone.
Gotcha.
So they're like, oh, we're going to keep them. They're here. You can look at them from afar, but you can't come anywhere near because you'll be arrested. So
yeah, they're permanently closed, and no one can get in there.
yeah.
You can contact the state, the city, whatever. They can give you a number of the owner, but is the owner really going to pick up? Most likely not.
Yeah, usually they don't.
They don't. With those type of buildings, they don't really like. They don't want to do that anymore. they had their time where they did do that, and then it was probably like a few years ago, and then they a lot of these owners just decided, nah, it's too much. I don't want to deal with it, and pretty much was like, I'm just going to permanently close it. So
You know,
That's interesting. Now, with not much there to investigate, what do you guys see yourselves doing to, to get that, to get that exposure, to get that experience that you guys need, to, just to, for your town. I mean, because if there's no place for you guys to investigate, I mean, and these knuckleheads owners don't want to pick up their phone, man, I would get frustrated. I'm like, well, freak crack, man. What the hell am I going to do if I know this is going on in that house and that is going on in that house, but I can't get access to it? What am I to do? So what does that mean? Do you guys see yourselves doing? Moving out the state, or finding?
so what it comes down to is there is places that you can investigate at, right? But the reason why is these places are supposedly haunted, right? So like you can investigate them. They say these people are saying that they're haunted. So you go and investigate it, and honestly, nothing really happens. And you pay, these people to go investigate, right? And they're not cheap. They're not. They're expensive, and they're considering these places haunted. But in all reality, there might be a little activity, but not. I wouldn't consider it to be haunted. My definition of haunted is completely different than what these people are making the definition haunted is. And so, yeah, there is places you can investigate at, but for us, that all the places that we have done in Utah, they haven't really been haunted. I would say there's been only a couple places that we've been to that have been really good. The majority of the places, there's really not much that you get there, so it's kind of disappointing. But what it comes down to is we're gonna knock out as much places we can in Utah, and every so often we're gonna go out of state and go do all of these other places around us. All of these other states around us, we're gonna expand a little bit here and there. So
yeah, we're gonna branch out a little bit to the near states around us and see how that works out. We've already been looking into like Colorado and Nevada and stuff like that, trying to get our schedule and see how things are going to work out for us.
And there are certain places here in Utah that we feel are worth going back to a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Because of stuff that's happened while we've been there. Whether we've been there 3 or 4 times, every time we go there, we catch some sort of activity or something that happens that makes us question, like, oh, this is really cool. And so there are a few places that are worth just going back to numerous times just to investigate further, because we have limited time while we're at these places. And so to go back a few times just gives us more information as we investigate, and we can just keep going back, because it seems to be that every time we go back, something weird happens or something questionable. So
something new happens,
or something brand new that we haven't experienced before. And so it's great for those certain places just to keep going back, because the more we go back, the more we experience,
the more we can get evidence to find out like what's actually here, what's actually happening. Like, yeah,
getting names and getting a face that matches the name and stuff like that. That's all pieces of evidence.
Names, dates, ages, that kinds of stuff.
Things for these places, and that's always great to have.
Yes, they are. Now, guys, the biggest thing in your state is the church, the Mormon church.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys reached out to them at all about possibly investigating, some of their property? The university, have you guys reached out to them to see if they, it won't hurt to ask?
I haven't contacted anything with like the church wise, but I have tried to get in contact with like the university and stuff, and I pretty much get left on red every time. So
Oh wow.
As far as I can tell, with the church and that religion, they don't necessarily view
Mhm.
paranormal activity as something that's a thing.
They
So
don't acknowledge any of that stuff.
and for some people that I've talked to that are heavily into that religion, it's almost offensive when you bring it up. They're
Yeah.
like, "Well, no, we don't talk about this." Like, or they just brush you off like you're some sort of crazy person, you know. So it kind of comes to a point. It's like, well, we don't need to have this conversation. It's fine. We all have our own views, and that's fine.
You know,
Yeah.
guys, this is so crazy because I was scrolling through YouTube today, and a paranormal team made a short of a church, and in the church, and this guy walks up, and the pastor was sitting right there, and he hit the guy in the middle of the head, like he just popped him in the middle of the head, and he started singing. He started singing, man. He started dancing and all that stuff. Next thing you know, the whole damn church had the Holy Ghost. You know, you know what I'm
That's
saying? So
awesome.
the question is how can they frown upon something or someone when they indulge in it? And as long as it's in church and they got the good Holy Ghost, everything's okay. Everybody back there goddamn twerking and popping and all this other stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell, man? What's the damn difference?
I think that the stigma of it, where they stigmatize it, is they view, like, when we say the word ghost or spirit, they immediately go to, oh, this is something evil, it's a demon or whatever, and they're not
Yeah.
for that.
It's bad juju.
So they're like, no, they're that doesn't exist. They don't even want to think about it. So, but that's not the definition when we're speaking about it. But that's where their mind immediately goes to. It's like, oh no, that's bad. We don't talk about that.
You
Yeah.
know what? We need to have a sit down and to discuss these things like true adults, so where everybody can be on the same page on what exactly paranormal investigators are trying to do, and we
Yeah.
need to figure out what exactly the church is trying to protect. Are they trying to protect us from harm, or are they trying to protect us from finding the real truth? What
That's
do
a
you
real
think?
good question. Yeah.
I feel like mostly I think it is for protection, because in my experience, what I've realized is that the more you pay attention to these types of things, the more you notice them happening, and even the more they will happen. And so it's much easier for them to go, that doesn't exist, because then they don't have anything happen.
Yeah.
And what I've realized is that the more you pay attention to it, the more it realizes you're paying attention to it, and the more these things will happen. And I think that's what a lot of people are afraid of. So they just go, no, I don't pay attention to it. I don't talk about it. I don't think about it. And it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of people in the religion out here. They'll literally tell you, like, no, I don't acknowledge it. I know things are happening around me, but if I don't pay attention to it, I don't acknowledge it, then it goes away. And I'm like, it doesn't really work that way. If you ignore it too, it could be like, oh, you're going to ignore me, I'm going to aggressively try to get your attention. So it all just depends, honestly. But yeah, when you're talking to people out here, at least in this state, in the religion, it's shunned and don't talk about it. It doesn't exist. And if you're not talking about the Holy Ghost, then nothing else exists. So just don't. It's bad juju, and it should just be left alone.
It's all about having your mind open, right? So if you notice these things, you're opening your mind to that realm, and that's why you start to notice more things happening, because you're being more open to it. And you'll ask a lot of paranormal investigators or even psychics that will tell you, you got to be more open to these
Possibilities.
the phenomenon that's going around or going on. The more that you open your mind, the more that you're going to see in that paranormal realm.
Yeah.
So,
but dude, the thing is, we as paranormal investigators or ghost hunters, whichever we call ourselves, the thing is, guys, eventually they will acknowledge us for who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
It's got to come, because every day there's new evidence out there, which I'm going to bring up something here in a little bit for you guys. There's, man, somebody from clear across the country is having evidence on, something that exists on the other side. Whether the church acknowledge it or not, that's up to the church. But
yeah,
which would you guys rather have confirmation from? The church or from the world? The world is like, hey, this, I can see this, but the church is going to say, oh, I see it. But like you guys are saying, oh, man, okay, yeah, but I don't acknowledge it. So
yeah,
I'm going to take all my evidence and I'm going to present it to the world and let they see what they think about it. Because the biggest critics on the planet, it's not the church. The church is a small part, but the biggest critics out there is the 30 million people that are looking at your evidence and saying, hey, yes, I can see it. There's validation here. So those are the people that I want to focus on, but it wouldn't help to have the church, in the loop, just because it seems like everybody believes the church. Not
yeah.
everybody
Oh yeah.
believe in the church, but it's crazy. That's what I'm saying. We need to have a sit down and discuss this.
For real.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, so even if we had the best evidence in the world, like whether it's a video footage or audio recording or picture or something, the way technology is nowadays, everyone's going to think it's fake. Even if there's nothing fake about it, a majority of the people are going to be like, oh, that's fake. You photoshopped this, you used video editing and all that. So really what it comes down to is experience. If you want more people to know the truth and to believe in these things and to see what's really out there, they really have to experience it for themselves.
Yep.
Because evidence does pique people's interest, but really they're not going to fully believe in that there's something actually going on here if they don't actually experience something for themselves.
But that also goes along with, back in the day, I mean, you look at Ed and Lorraine, they had people telling them that they're fake and stuff like that too when they were doing their stuff. So it's been going along for a long time. But nowadays, there's so much technology where you can fake so many things now. So it makes it even harder for people to believe any type of evidence, even if it's real, because that's just how it is now. Because there's so many fake videos out there of people capturing, paranormal stuff going on, that it's making it harder and harder for people to believe in it,
Yeah. I mean, like he was just saying, yeah, it doesn't matter if you have video footage that's really blurry and hard to tell, but it's legit, or if it's 4K crystal clear, there's going to be people that's going to say both of them are fake.
If it's blurry, they're like, oh, that's fake because look how blurry it is. We're in 2024 and look how blurry that footage is. And if it's crystal clear, oh, that's way too clear to be real. You had to have faked it.
Exactly.
So there's no winning either way.
You lose either way. So it's really difficult this time of year, this day and age.
But the way you guys are sounding, it's like we can't win this battle. Because people are going to judge either way it goes.
Either way, they're going to judge.
It is a battle, and that's what it comes down to, is really just the battle of it. And all we can really do is provide as much evidence as we can, really. And it's, as long as you have all your evidence, you've been trying to debunk it, like you've been trying to prove that it is real and legit. And just letting people know, as long as you can prove them wrong, that whatever they're thinking of you faking it, and you debunk that, okay, try to fake it. Try to fake that. And if they can't fake it, then it's a clear message that it was something. The whole thing about the paranormal realm is it's all about it's the unexplained. So if you can't explain it, that's something paranormal, is how people see it. So if I have a picture or even video footage and you're going to say that it's fake, well, then prove to me how I did that. How did I fake it? You know, show me any type of evidence that you have. I can prove you wrong. And that's all it's really about. If you can just prove them wrong every single time with your evidence, that's what's going to win the battle. It's just
Right.
fighting against these people with the evidence that you have. Now, there's things that, you know, you might believe it's paranormal, but it's, you know, it's a hit and miss with those things. You know, there could be times where, yeah, I could replicate that. You know, if I hear a knock in the other room, I got it on video or something, who knows if someone's in that back room making the knock?
Exactly.
No one's going to know. They're not there, right? So, and that's just, if we just say no one's in that room, you don't know, right? You don't know. You're not there. So that's what goes to what he was saying, was the only way they're going to know is if they're there to experience it, because that's the best evidence you can actually really have.
And that's where it becomes, it's a slow paced race, right?
Yeah.
Because what you want people to do is to know that this stuff is real and this stuff actually happens. And evidence is a good tool for that, because you do evidence, you put your investigations on YouTube, and it can pique someone's interest, and they're like, you know what, I want to experience something like that, so I'm going to go do my own investigation. And then when they have an experience after trying it a few times, or they go to the right location, now they believe, now they know that this is not something that is fake. You know, not millions of people are not just faking this. You know, and you know, it's really just comes down to one person at a time. When one person decides to, you know, I'm going to try it out for myself and see what happens, and then they experience something, then they go, okay, there's something to this. And then another person. And so posting this stuff on YouTube or full investigations and everything like that, it can be a good tool to like, look, this is not something that's very difficult to do, and you can believe our evidence or not, but go ahead and try it for yourself. And if you experience something, then maybe you'll know.
There you go. I got a question. Christopher Pittman wants to know, what do you guys think about all these apps, these paranormal apps that are out there? Do you guys use?
Dude, I've been wanting to talk about this for a fat minute. Like, so I actually have bought all these apps, and I've actually tried them. And actually, the first few episodes, probably 4 or 5 episodes, I have used the app, these apps, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, we have debunked it. So there is these words that are in these apps, or sentences, whatever it is. Even if the app says, oh, there's only 3 words on it, and it's these 3 words, they're lying. They have a word bank in there that has all these words and sayings. And every time, like, if I had the app in front of me, I would show you. But let's say this, I'm holding my phone. Let's just say I have my e-cig, right? I have my e-cig. As soon as I put my e-cig up to my phone, it will set it off immediately. And I can keep doing that just to set it off.
Yep.
Any type of energy, like another phone or anything that has electricity, or even movement. Even if you move your phone around, it'll notice that you're moving your phone, and it'll trigger it also.
Yeah, so the Spirit Box app on the phone, we realized in one of our investigations that anytime we put anything with a battery or some sort of charge even next to the phone, it would set it off and we'd get a word. And it would happen every time. We'd let it sit for 10 minutes, nothing, and we put a battery up next to it, and it would set it off, and we'd get a word. So it'd pretty much only send us a word every time it would get some sort of electromagnetic field or some sort of electrical energy close to it, or even a motion sensor too. If we would walk in front of the camera, it would give us a word.
Yeah. So yeah, these phone apps, your phone can't do anything that these apps say that they possibly could do. About I can almost say 95 to 100% on any app that you ever pay for that's paranormal for voices or whatever are absolutely fake and cannot do what they're supposed to do. Like the SLS app you can get with your phone. I've tested it. I've debunked the crap out of it. It does not work at all. It'll just pick any shape in the room that you're looking at, and all of a sudden, oh, there's a ghost there. Oh, there's a ghost here. Oh, it's just a chair, but it looks like someone's sitting in. Oh, there's a wall. It's something. They don't work. They're not meant to work. It's just they're They're fake.
Well,
It's all for entertainment.
Yeah.
So all these apps are created are from people that are YouTubers and that are big. They, joined these teams that are good at making apps, make these spirit apps, and they choose the words or sayings that they want put into it. And then it's all for like, if you're creating an entertainment YouTube channel where you're ghost hunting and you're having these words, it's spitting out scary words like demon, I'm gonna get you and stuff like that, like just to scare people, just to get the more entertainment aspect of it. And that's something, yeah, we like the entertainment part of the paranormal stuff, like the real stuff. But when it comes to just like using these apps and these weird devices that not even like, let's say Ghost Stop, because Ghost Stop is a paranormal shop, right? Everyone uses that. Do you see them supporting these apps? Do you see them supporting these devices that are out? No, they don't. So what makes you think I'm going to believe these over the actual experts, right?
Right.
Yeah, and it comes down to like our phones are not designed for this kind of stuff.
No.
There are devices that we even use that are designed for this kind of stuff, like paranormal investigating and stuff, and they work great as tools. But ultimately, it comes down to your experience and what you're experiencing there, because your experience can be amplified by the tools, but the tools don't make the experience.
Yeah. They have to collaborate and like match up. Otherwise, there's really no point.
Right. Hey, there you go, Mr. Pittman. I hope you got your answer from these gentlemen. Okay, guys, let's talk about Native Americans and Native American communities, because I know there's a big Indian reservation out there. Have you guys reached out to them, about things that are going on out there, and so on and so on, or have they reached out to you?
I have one that he works at my job, so we talk about this stuff like on a regular basis. But anything paranormal like that stuff's off limits on the reservations. It's just like they'll talk to people about it, but none of it's a no-go if it's like investigating or stuff like that. But they're really open to all the experiences that happens on a regular basis. But yeah, I mean, if it's like for reservations or stuff like that, it's kind of we have stuff happen, but it's like sacred land, so you're not able to do any of that kind of stuff.
Well, and the natives are very spiritual people, and so they understand the spiritualism, but they are also aware of the dangers and the consequences of provoking that kind of stuff. And so when it comes to like actually paranormal investigating, most of them are not for that, because they know better than to poke the bear, in a sense.
Yeah.
They just leave the bear alone and it'll go away. If you have an experience, you have an experience. That can be a blessing or it can be a curse, but don't ask for it.
Yeah. They know what's happening, but they're like, just let them be and we'll just coexist together. But yeah, they don't want you like going out there and like trying to aggravate things or whatever the case may be. They're like, no, it happens. We believe in all of it, but just leave it alone. Let it be, We'll talk about it, but there's no investigations happening.
It's crazy because, I get that sense, I'm not a medium, I'm not a psychic, but whenever I'm walking, I always get that feeling that there are people walking beside me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And for me, I just think that, they just on another plane just another plane of existence for us. Some people can see them, some people can't, but the thing that I don't understand is how is that some people can be so close-minded about what we do, and all it takes is a couple of simple things that can change your life forever. One, open up your mind. 2, open up your eyes. 3, and open up your ears. Those are 3 senses that we all have and we all should be using. And we use those on a regular basis. But if you don't stop for a moment and just use them all three clearly, you're never gonna have that experience of
Yeah.
feeling that somebody or someone is walking just past you. I mean, they can be going to the grocery store or they can be taking their child to the nanny, but it feels like there is something else that is there and it's only a blink away. It's not
Yeah.
miles away, it's not 2 miles away, it's just an eye blink away. And if you blink your eyes for a moment, you might be able to see it. And that's just my opinion on it. And I could be wrong. Everybody's opinion is different. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you guys think?
I
Go for it.
with the closed-minded and stuff like that, it really comes down to them being afraid,
That's what I was gonna say.
them not being educated enough, and them just, oh, it's scary to me, so I'm gonna close my eyes and look over here because that didn't happen because I'm just afraid of it, and they don't want to learn from it, so they just like, oh, nope, 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 this didn't, nope. Because I actually have a family member that experiences stuff on a regular basis. But when you talk to them, they're like, oh yeah, I seen this and this happened and this happened. But then you'll come back to them like a day later and you'll be like, so what happened with this? And they're like, oh, that didn't happen. That was just my imagination. I don't even want to talk about it. It's because they're just afraid and they'll just purposely, they know what's happening. They just ignore it because they figure if they just ignore it, it'll go away and they can move on.
Well, it also goes with accepting it without the explanation. So how can you accept something without no explanation, really?
Right.
If it doesn't make sense to you, then why are you going to sit there and tell people, right? Like, if it doesn't make sense, this happened, I don't know how. They don't want to seem like the crazy one,
Yeah.
you know? So if it doesn't make sense to them, of course they're not going to be able to explain it to other people and have other people like accept what they're saying and believe them, right? So
Well, and
Yeah.
also popular media too, like movies and TV shows and stuff have, made this whole spiritualism thing something to be afraid of
Mhm.
because it's always something super scary and something bad happens and people get hurt. And so like they're just completely afraid of what could be because they don't understand what's going on.
Just what they've seen in movies.
Yeah, and
which
they're
is-
like, oh, I seen this in a movie and it didn't end very good, so I'm not even going to deal with that, So
Well,
that, and
guys, as paranormal investigators, and I'm going to ask you guys this question, and I want you guys, each one of you guys, to answer this for me. What exactly are we as paranormal investigators trying to prove? Of course, some of us are trying to prove that there is something there, there is spirits there, but let's look at the big picture. Are we mentally preparing ourselves for what is going to happen to us? Are we preparing ourselves for the next step in our evolution, to make sure that we're not scared when that time comes, and we know exactly what's going on and we know how to handle this type of situation? Are you guys actually preparing yourselves for this?
You said that perfectly, actually. All that was great.
I think for me personally, the big picture, yeah, it's to prove that, there is an afterlife and there's something that, to look forward to and to not live in that fear of, oh, once it's over, it's just over and that's that. And the smaller picture is just understanding the phenomena in general. It's like all this stuff is happening in specific locations all the time to numerous people. And, when it comes down to this is happening to a lot of people are having these experiences and having these things happen to them. And even some families even have a generational thing where certain families, no matter where they go, they're always followed by these experiences or these phenomena, right? So for me, the investigative part of me, the scientific part of me, just wants to understand why is this phenomena happening? How is it happening?
Mhm.
And what are we supposed to learn from that?
I
Okay.
see it as like from what my understanding, like what I want to understand really is it this other side a good place, bad place? Is it fearful? Is it like heaven? You know, like there's all these things that could combine with it, but it's more about trying to get more evidence, not just about the names of these people that, you know, passed on or whatever, but it's more of like what type of place is this so we can have more of an understanding of what it is. You know, is it just a different dimension, or is it actually like like heaven, right? It's where you're at a place and it's your heaven and it's how you are happy. So I don't know, it's just one of those things like I want to figure out of
Can we
is
get this light on? It's
is
starting to
is
get
the afterlife
dark in
really, you know, scary? Is it, you know, is it actually like heaven? You know, because you know, you got all these religions that say heaven's up there, but what if heaven is already here?
Here.
Like what if we're these phenomena that are going on, these spirits and stuff, it is heaven, right? What if it is that? And it is a good place and it's your heaven, not just like what you see in front of you right now, but it's like they see their house or, you know, their family there. You know, it's something that maybe they cherish or a piece of their memory that makes them happy. You know, that's how I see it.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer. All right. Hey, what do you guys think about Hollywood? What do you guys think the way Hollywood portrayed paranormal investigators, man? Because we are getting a very bad rap out in the world because of what they're doing, the way they produce things, the way they're making their movies, and so on and so on. What do you guys think about Hollywood and the BS that they're putting out?
Well, it makes anything that we do that is legit look like we're doing everything we can to fake people into believing what we believe. Or
Mm-hmm.
that we're just some crazy hillbillies in the South that do methamphetamines and are on LSD and stuff and on a bunch of drugs and don't really know what we're talking about, when really most of us are just normal people that are really interested in learning what's going on here.
Yeah. One thing, Hollywood is just out to scare people because they know people want to be scared and makes them money. So when it comes to spiritual ghost stuff, it's the jump scares. It's how evil can we make this demon and stuff like that. But in reality, when it comes to paranormal investigations, what I've been doing it for over 18 years, and what I've found out is ghosts and spirits, they're just me and you just doing their thing. Like I have to tell this to people all the time. So every place is different because every person is different. So if you die, if in real life, you're like this happy, go lucky, cheerful person, you're most likely going to die a happy, cheerful person. If you're a rotten, ornery person in life, you're probably going to be the same way in death. So every haunt is going to be different. So if you're a happy person or if you're a prankster in life, you're going to die probably a prankster. And that's why you get investigations where stuff's being moved and you're like, I swear that remote was there 5 seconds ago. Now it's over there. Like, how did they get there? It's because whoever's there is like, I did this for a living. I'm going to have fun with it.
Right.
And one of my experiences is because my sister died when I was younger. And my mom and her had this thing where they would just, my mom had a way of how she set up her knickknacks. My sister had her way. And they would fight and argue and they would switch stuff around constantly. And after my sister died, my mom would be like, I had this set up just like this. Now that knickknack's over here and this one's over here. And I know dang well I didn't put those there. And it's just the same thing. It's like, even though she's gone, she's like, no, I still want this stuff this way, even though you want them this way. So you just have to treat these, and that's what a lot of people don't get too, is people get freaked out when they hear paranormal and ghosts and, oh, I'm just terrified. They're just humans.
Yeah, that's
You treat them like they're humans, and it's not that big a deal. It's just people aren't educated. They're afraid because you're sitting in a room and something flies off the table, you're going to panic, but you have to stop and realize that ghost or human or whatever is happening doesn't know how to communicate correctly. So this is all it knows what to do. So it's like, I can't talk to you. I can't do this. So I'm going to move this glass off the table to get your attention. But that scares people.
Right.
How I see it, Hollywood is more, it's entertainment. Anything to get views, anything to get more people to watch their stuff. That's just how it goes. The real life stuff, that's what makes the real people and these big people on top. Is the big people on top are
Hello? Huh? Can't hear you. There you go. You're back. You're back.
Sorry, we had a phone call we had to get off of.
I understand that. Guys, why do you think it's so, it's crazy because there are so many heavily polluted locations that millions and millions of paranormal investigators have went into, and they just diluted the place. There's a
Oh yeah, for
footprint
sure.
here. There's a footprint on the wall. Man, come on. It's all about money when you got these big locations. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
there's a lot of money involved. And I think the spirits are wanting some of that money because they're making so much money off of them. The spirits is like, dude, I'm not going to interact with you guys unless you cut me 60% of the fucking cake.
maybe you should offer offerings, right?
Because
Yeah, that's why some places they give offerings.
it's crazy. And, and I sit back and think at times, all these big locations, man, people get disappointed because they spend $300 here. Dude, it's one place I know that costs $700 to get into.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of places are 1,000.
yeah, we've been into a couple places that were like 500 plus, and it's like, is it worth that? I don't think so.
It's not
Yeah,
worth-
well, and that's the thing too that some investigators may not get is that you can go to a place that actually is haunted and have nothing happen. Because the way activity works, it's not always a regular thing. Sometimes, you can go back to the same place that you've had something happen and then nothing will happen. And then you go back again and then stuff happens. This is the reason why this is something that is hard to prove as an actual phenomena, because it doesn't always just happen.
Or you're dealing with the banker who knows the difference between, what these people are doing, and they feel like, hey, I'm being taken advantage of. I want a piece of a cut. Because to me, it's really easy to solve that problem. Just give them what they want. And then, guys, quit going in locations. And I tell people this all the time. It should be a book on how to speak to the dead. It should be a book. And in that book, it should be certain words you should use, certain words you shouldn't use. And that one word, and you know what? And it don't have to be A, B, C, D. It can be just, okay, number one word, don't use, number two word. It can just go down like that. You know what I'm saying? But never go into a location and ask somebody who's, the night before they asked the same damn question. Can you move this? Can you move that? What's your name? Who you with? Who's your baby mama? Man, we don't want to know all that.
Exactly.
That's everything that they had said the day before. So spirits get tired of hearing that. So guys, we have to come up something, a book where we can ask. So there's got to be two books. One, questions, one we don't ask, and the other book is questions we do ask. Let's use the book that do ask. Hey man, let's just ask these people. Just talk to them like they're alive.
Yep.
Exactly. And
That-
that's what I tell people all the time.
And
Talk to them
that's
like
what
they're
we do
us.
when we go into a place. The very first thing we do is we introduce ourselves, and then we'll ask, like, what's your name, or what are you doing here? Just what you would ask a normal person if you just met them. Like what's
Like-
your purpose? Why are you here?
Why are you here? Like, are you stuck? Do you need help to get out? Kind of questions, Talk to them like they're humans, and you generally will get better reactions than just like, hey, move that glass over there. You did it to someone else the other day, so you should be able to do it for me. And it's like, they're people. They're not at a circus. You can't just make them jump and hop it, anytime you feel like it.
Oh.
If they don't want to do anything, they're not going to do anything.
And we also make sure to make the point too, like, hey, we're in here and we can't see you. So if you can see us or you can hear us, do something to make yourself known, because we can't see you and we can't hear you. So whatever you can do within your abilities to show us that you're in this room with us, then let us know however it is you want to do it.
Yeah.
And then we'll let them know, like, hey, we got this here. We've got this option here. We've got this option here. You choose your preference. This will just let us know that, okay, we are not just talking to ourselves.
Yeah, but you know what the craziest thing is, you guys? I mean, like I say, every paranormal team is different.
Yes.
My goal is to not go in and ask, well, put it like this. If I was a spirit, I'm not going to come at you. It's your job to get my attention. It's not my job to get your attention.
Yeah.
If you want to pique my curiosity, you put something out there I've never seen before, and let me decide if I want to do it. Otherwise,
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
it's going to be. I've been here 500 years, and I've seen just about every electronic, everything that this world has to offer. But it's got to be at a point where, hey, man, okay, yeah. I just, let me play with that. Let me do this. You know what? I'm be honest with you guys, and y'all people, y'all might think I'm crazy, but if I'm a spirit, and dude, put me in a doll out, a blow up doll out with LED lights on it, and that's something I've never seen before, and let me decide if I want to come touch it or not.
Yeah, for real, right?
Yeah.
Make it interesting for them. Switch it up.
You got to be able, as paranormal investigators, guys, we got to think outside of the box.
Yes.
There's too many of us in the box already. So
Yeah.
somebody's got to take that step out and start thinking outside the box. We can't come in here with the same old every single day, because spirits like me will get tired of it, and we're not going to want to. Hey, don't get me wrong, dude. If I really wanted to, I can come in and I can communicate with any night, any day. It could be, I can go on a hyenas where I can speak to everybody every day for the next 30 days if I want. But
Yeah.
is it worth it? Is there something that in that corner over there where I've never seen before, and it piques my curiosity? And then I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see myself. That little pink blow up doll with the LED lights on it, about 8 feet tall. Oh yeah, that would definitely get my attention.
For real.
Yeah, and that's also, like, we've been going to a lot of places that aren't really the normal places you would think of when you ask people about, like, haunted places. Those types of places are going to be the ones that aren't constantly being investigated, and if there are spirits in that place, they're the ones that and you never know if they want to talk or not, but you have the possibility of them who they have been looking for something to communicate, or they want someone to notice them, and they haven't been given the opportunity or the tools needed to make that communication possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And guys, you know what? All this technology in the world, I see myself going back to the basics. Now, some of these things I have are 22nd century technology. A lot of teams don't use them, but sometimes, I see them using them in the future, but not right now. But the one thing that a lot of people in their, back in the Victorian era that are still hanging around, even in the 70s and the 60s, man, have you guys ever used a Tesla ball when you guys are investigating?
No.
Dude, Tesla ball, and it generates and it shows the electricity. Oh, dude, you have to get one.
It's true.
We'll have
It
to look
does.
that
It
up.
does generate electricity.
I will have to look that up for sure.
Yeah,
I have actually seen some investigators' videos where they were using one of those, and you never know when it's a show whether they're faking their evidence or not. But the specific show that I was watching, I don't believe that they fake anything that they do, and it seems to assist them because it's generating electricity. It's something bright and noticeable. That's really easy for people to see and go, "Whoa, what is that's weird? What is that?"
Mhm. And having somebody, and what's so crazy about it is activated by touch.
Yeah,
When the fingers touch the ball, the electricity goes up through the glass, and it actually touches each finger. So
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, it's cool as hell, dude. In the middle of, you actually see people touching that, and and it's something that can't be faked, like you're saying. And
Yeah.
man,
That's cool.
it's pretty cool, dude. I mean, we've got one, and they come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Hell, I even seen one that's like a triangle, and it's pretty cool. I've seen one in squares, rectangles. Actually, the ball shaped like a basketball. I've seen one the size of a baseball. They come in different shapes, sizes, and colors, but they're all cool. And a lot of people who's been dead for, man, some of them ain't never seen them their whole life. You know what I'm saying? So by you putting one out there, a guy could be dead yesterday, and you want to communicate with him. You put that Tesla ball out there. I guarantee you, he'll come and look at it and want to touch it and play with it and all that stuff.
That's actually kind of cool,
Yeah,
actually.
that is.
yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
never
saying?
even thought of
I got to say, don't let me come to Utah and let me see you guys using a Tesla ball.
that.
Yeah, man. I mean, there is so many things out there that we can use that's outside of the box.
Yeah.
People use, and this is what crazy, guys. People use your voice recorder, that little bitty voice recorder. Sometimes you might be able to you'll pick that faint voice up. Hello. And I'm like, did I hear that? Did I?
Yeah.
But what about if you can amplify that 10 times, 20 times with the
Mhm.
device that's been out since the 70s?
Yeah.
What is it called? It's called, you hold it. I got one. I can't even know the damn name of it. It has a dish, it has a trigger on it.
Oh, I know what he's talking about, but I can't think of the name either.
I have one in my car.
But yeah, that amplifies the sounds. But yeah.
Yes, it amplifies the sound 10 times fold. So whatever you think you hear, you can actually get it 10 times clearer. And that,
Yeah.
having that, the only downfall is just like any other device, you can't use it where there's a lot of noise.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's gonna pick up everything.
Yes, it picks up birds, crickets, a
Yep.
damn roach when it crawls across the ground. It picks up everything.
Yes.
Damn it, what is a? You know what? when I get off, it'll probably hit me right in the head.
Probably.
But it always seems to happen like that. But yeah, guys, I mean, we have to think out of the. If not, we're gonna see ourselves doing the same old. Because
Yeah.
paranormal things get into a routine. They get into their routine of doing things their way. But I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody's different, but if everybody's different, everybody's gonna get sit in their own routine.
Yeah, true.
All right. So everybody does it this way. We're going to continue doing this for the next 20 years. And another team going to do that. They're going to do it for the next 30 years. But you know what? The team that's over there outside the box, they're changing shit up every month.
Yeah, and that's a really good idea to do, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if you guys have the biggest paranormal store that you can go in and find stuff that you can investigate with is Five Below. If you guys have a Five Below in Salt Lake City, go there and you'll see all the paranormal equipment on the shelf. I mean, you wouldn't even think. People go in that store and just think it's just something to decorate with. But when I go in there, man, I'm thinking, oh shit, I got all this paranormal equipment right here I can use. You know what? Nobody's on YouTube have saw it. Nobody on Facebook got it. This and that. Man, if I can't get it to work, I can rig it up to work. Man, there's so many things that people should be doing. And you know what? And if you do it, me personally, I think it generates more activity. It would draw in some of the spirits who are a little bit more curious, about what certain items are and certain things are. And don't get me wrong, people in the Victorian era are a little afraid of things because they're not used to this type of technology. But if you show them how it works and you show them that it's not something they should be afraid of, then they might be a little bit more open to it and come along and touch that Tesla ball or, that coil that if you touch it, that's another one.
Yeah.
That you can use. Man, there's so many things out there. It's just crazy, but man, I'm sorry. Hey, man, once I get talking, man, I get all emotional and I start crying.
It's all good. I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, it's just one of those things. Let me ask you guys a question. And I want each one of you guys to be honest with me. So you guys are inventors, okay? And you guys, okay, well, I'll put all three of y'all put your work into it. I'm not gonna, go individually. All three of you guys put your work into this device. Now, this device will allow you to see, hear, answer all the questions that you ever wanted to know about the paranormal. The question I have for you guys is, would you guys share that knowledge to the world, or would you guys keep that to yourself?
Share it with the world.
Oh,
of course.
definitely share it because everyone needs to know.
I think everyone deserves to know. I don't think it's anything like spiritualism in general is not something that should be held like, oh, this is all mine. Everyone deserves to know the answers. Like spiritualism to me it's the answers of the universe and why everything is, why we're here, what we do next, what's our mission, and what was the beginning. And everyone deserves to know those answers, or even if the only answers we get are what's coming next. I think we all deserve to know what's coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but all right. Check it out, guys. This is one of my teammates that came on. Are you guys able to read the comments?
I haven't seen them, no. Wait, maybe.
Oh, there they are.
Oh, we.
A parabolic. Guy. That's what that device is.
The parabolic, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, parabolic. Yeah, he had it. Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. I appreciate it. I'll buy some cookies and milk on the next investigation. He's gonna hold me to it, probably.
I would.
So with you guys giving that information out to the world, are you guys ready for the criticism and the skepticism that you guys are about to face when you put something like that out?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've already been mindful of that for a very long time.
Yeah, we've been dealing with that our whole lives basically. As I've experienced stuff ever since I was a little kid.
Same.
And so I've always believed that this phenomena is something that's real and it's not something that's made up. And so there's always going to be any type of belief system, there's going to be criticism, because until you experience it for yourself, how are you going to know that it exists?
Yeah.
We know the sun is out there because we all see the sun when we all experience it, right? If one person has never seen the sun in his life and we told them, hey, there's a big fiery ball out in the sky that lights up the entire planet, they're going to be like, you're so full of crap.
There's always going to be those haters. There's always going to be those trolls. There's always going to be someone that don't have the same opinion on. But that's why we're here. We're here to like educate them and show them. If they don't want to believe it, I mean, that's on them. But yeah, you have to mentally prepare yourself to be like, there's going to be a lot of people that are they're going to say we're fake, that we're bull crap, a whole bunch of stuff. But that's just how it's going to be. So yeah.
But the second question is, do you guys think that the world is ready for such a device?
Oh, that's another question. Probably not.
That's like saying, is a Ouija board a good thing to have? Also, if there's bad things that can happen with the Ouija board, but there can also be good things with the Ouija board. So it just depends on how you use it, and as long as you know how to use it, I think it would be worth it, honestly. But you have people that like to run tests. That's what we do as investigators, and sometimes we push it too far, and it could end up pretty bad. So it could be both ways.
I think that the world is never ready for change, but what I do know is that we also have the ability to adapt. I think if that information came out, all the knowledge came out all at once, it would definitely be devastating for a big portion of the world and their world views, and it would shatter a lot of people's views. But us as human beings and how quickly we can adapt to things, ultimately it would better everybody.
It would.
And I think it would end all conflict. It would definitely end all conflict, because everybody would have their goals and their mission right in their eyes and right in their sight. They know exactly what needs to be done, and everyone would now be on the same page.
Yeah, whether they're ready for it or not, I mean, they wouldn't be ready for it, but it would definitely be nice to have, because then, yeah, but them ready for it, probably not.
And I'm going to be honest with you guys. For every problem, there's something, for every negative, positive, good, bad. And to be honest with you guys, if something like that was to come out, I think it would destroy the church.
Oh yeah, for sure. They'd be the first ones that are yeah, that would be bad.
They would ban ghost hunting forever.
And what's so crazy, and destroying the church, I think they would actually start a crusade against us. So
yeah, for sure.
You guys saying that it will be a peacemaker, but I think it would be, this is just my opinion, I think it will start world conflict.
It might.
For those who believe and those who don't believe, so I would actually see chaos, war, famine, something that small that can actually, and we've seen it before in history, something that small can actually produce something so bad, so I think, yeah, man, That, you know what, having just this topic right here, we can talk about this forever.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
forever,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And I think I think it probably would cause conflict for some people. I think because it's the difference of believing and knowing. Now you no longer believe in something. Now you know it is a thing. Now you know it exists. You know what it is. You know the purpose behind it, and everybody receives this knowledge all at the same time.
And that would be the conflict.
And so now there's no conflict of beliefs because everybody just knows that this is what it's supposed to be. And there will be the small minority of people that say, I don't care, you're ruining the way I've lived my entire life, and I'm going to fight against that because I want my life back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that in the end the majority will overcome that.
And and who's to say that, hey man, I got the opportunity to see my entire, my entire family, my lineage from the day that my great 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 grandfather or my grandmother was born. I get to go back and meet all those people. I get to go and say hello. I am your grandson from like 800 years from now. Is it up to us to take that away if that type of technology is invented? And is it for, and let's just say, is it for us to even put something like that out? I mean, man, you got to look at that both ways and see, the really truth behind it. The ups and the downfalls. How would this become? How would that become? That, because that device is a life changing, world changing, universal changing technology. I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
literally changed everything on the earth. And something that big, wow. I don't know, man. I ask myself that all the time when I'm sitting at home drinking a Four Loko. I don't know. I mean,
Very true. It could turn out really bad, especially religion. They would really like lose their mind because they're just so set in this is how we know it's been this entire time since creation, and now you're trying to tell me that it's something else now. Now we're supposed to just stop believing.
Or it could boost a religion. Maybe a religion actually got it all 100% right. And they're like, hey, this proves it. We were right the whole time.
I mean, who knows?
You never know.
yeah, you never know, man. You never know. But I'll be going home thinking about that question I asked you guys and I asked myself over and over and over again. You know what, guys? We've been on the show for an hour and 12 minutes. Couple more questions. I'm going to get you guys out of here.
Okay.
Number one, now, while we're on religion, let's stay with religion. Are you guys Catholics? Any of you guys Catholics?
No.
There's no Catholics. Okay. So,
No.
how do you feel? How do you guys feel about the Catholic Church?
I don't have any strong biases against religion in general. I don't specifically subscribe to any specific religion.
Hmm?
I am a very spiritual person though, and I do find things from different religions, like picking and choosing, like, yeah, I agree with that. I don't agree with that. I agree with that, and I don't really agree with that.
Okay, but all three of us can agree, all four of us as men, we can all agree that the Christian church set this whole paranormal thing off with us.
I can agree with that.
We can agree,
Definitely.
Yeah.
because when they were sending, back in the day, when they sent Van Helsing out to investigate something, what was he called? He was called an investigator, right? He was called.
Probably.
That's what he was. He was an investigator.
Yeah.
So if he was go to Holland and investigate something that's going over there. And if it's paranormal, then he's called what? A paranormal investigator. So what he would do next is he will take his findings and report back to the church, the Catholic
Yeah.
Church.
Yep.
So, and all this findings that has been collected over the decades and over the millennia and all this 5,000 years of collecting data. Why come the Catholic Church has not put this out? But mind you, they set this whole thing off by sending paranormal investigators out there to investigate. But this day and age, they don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want somebody to bring it up. But those are the
you
ones,
can't bring it up.
those are the ones that dropped the bomb on everybody and told Van Helsing, hey, go check out Dracula, see what the hell he's doing. Then go check out who Lord knows, the werewolf man, see what he's doing, and come back and reveal your findings to us.
Yeah, and they're the ones that started like exorcisms and all that whole thing, and then now it's just like, oh, now that we don't do them at all, and you even mention it, and how dare you? We don't talk about that stuff anymore. So yeah,
I think they have knowledge of something that nobody else knows, and they're holding on to that knowledge. Either it's because it goes against what their initial agenda is, or they're afraid of the reaction of the people if that knowledge were to come out.
true. So yeah.
Now, have you guys seen Men in Black, the first one? When him and Will Smith were sitting on that bench, and they were talking to each other, and Will Smith asked him, "Is it worth it?" And he said, "Yeah, if you're smart enough, it's worth it." And he also said, and Will Smith asked him, "Well, why come we don't put stuff like that out?" And what's his name? Kay said, "Well, man, people are stupid." No, he said, mankind is stupid, but people are smart. And maybe if it's just shared out with a couple of people at a time, it would be more acceptable. But if you put it out for mankind as a whole, as one,
they'd lose their mind.
They'll lose their damn minds.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And everything about that movie, that one little segment, I remember that segment to this day. And that movie's been out for almost 30 years. And he's got some truth to it.
I agree.
He's got some truth to it. All right, guys, an hour, 17 minutes. All right, who wants to be first on this question? Raise their hand. Anybody? No?
Go for it. It don't matter.
All right.
All right. Where would you like to go? You got a bucket list. Where would you like to go to investigate, and why and where?
What did I say earlier? Crap, my brain just died.
Waverly Hills.
Oh, Waverly Hills Sanitarium is my number one on my bucket list to check out because of just how crazy all the other ghost hunters have been there. And number two for me would be the Conjuring House. Those would be my two tops.
Okay, can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
Why would you want to go somewhere where there's been 1 million boots on the floor?
I mean, that's true too. Honestly, I can't answer that one.
Okay. You know what?
I mean,
okay.
I want to go to, because there has been so many, and there's so many ghost experiences that's happened there, and it's so world known that I want to go there and experience that much for myself. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's one thing to see other people's experiences. It's a whole other thing to experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something that we've learned through the years of investigating, is that you can hear the stories and you can see the videos, but experiencing it for yourself is a whole different
story.
ballgame, because we
Yeah.
have emotions and feelings, and everything hits everybody differently. And I've known for myself that actually experience it, that's where I learned something.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know,
I can watch videos for hours and hours at a time all day. I'm not really going to learn much from that. Experiencing it for myself, oh, I just learned something new today.
you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. It's nothing like experiencing something firsthand for yourself. You know,
Yep.
that whole wow factor, man. Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the same thing like going on a roller coaster, right? Everybody tells you this roller coaster is the best roller coaster in the park. So you want to ride that roller coaster because everyone else's experiences sounds great. And you're like, heck yeah, let's give it a try. And you get off and you're like, heck yeah, that was the best roller coaster in the park.
There you go. You know, yeah, you're absolutely right. All right. Speaking of, where would you like to go on your bucket list?
I want to go to Skinwalker Ranch.
The hell, that's only a couple 100 yards from you right now.
And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one of those locations that's off limits and no one can go in. That's the only problem.
Mm, yeah,
yeah,
that's
One of those
I would
situations.
love to go because I'm super into, UFO stuff. Like I'm into everything paranormal.
Same.
But, I've experienced some spiritual stuff. I've experienced some ghost stuff. I've never experienced any type of UFO phenomenon before in my life. And that
Wow.
is something that I would really love to experience for myself. Because I can see videos, like I said, I can see videos and hear people's stories and stuff, but there's something different about actually experiencing it
Yeah.
and seeing it for yourself versus just hearing the stories.
Yeah,
Right.
we've wanted to do Skinwalker Ranch for a minute now, and it's one of those locations where it's nope, you can't. It's not a thing. It's all gated off. It's the government owns it. Stay away. You can be
Well,
arrested just coming up to the gate. So
I think eventually they're gonna open that up. I mean, they can't hold that place down forever.
I
I
hope
think
so. That would be great.
Well, it's privately owned right now
Yeah,
because Brandon Fugel owns that right now.
yeah, but he has a TV show and they're doing all
Yeah.
that stuff. So you're not allowed to even
Yeah.
go near the place.
And they're so freaked out by the phenomena that's happening there that they won't let other people in.
Yeah,
Because they're so concerned about people's safety, which is a good thing. You should be. But yeah, they won't let anyone on there unless they're their own personnel.
do they
Truth.
control the airspace?
Do they what?
Do they control the airspace, or do they just
Not that I
control
know of.
the ground?
I think they control the airspace for a certain elevation. I'm not 100% sure on what number that would be, but yeah, I'm pretty sure up to a certain elevation they own that because your property is on the ground, but you also own a certain amount of airspace
At
on
least
your
they do.
on your property. So I don't know what you also have to work that out with the state too on what your elevation that you get to own. Like you have to have permits and stuff like that. And I know that they must own some sort of elevation because
They're
he's
shooting rockets
got
and
his
stuff.
they're shooting rockets out and they've got his helicopter flying in and out. So they own some sort of part of the airspace, I'm sure.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, what about you, team leader? Where would you like to go?
Honestly, I don't really have a place. I think there's a lot of crazy places out in the world, and I want to go to all of them. That's how I see it.
That's a good answer.
Okay. Well, you know what, man? Pack your bags. Hey, I'll be up there in about 20 minutes to pick you up. We're going to
All right, let's go.
we're going to France. First stop on the list will be Omaha Beach.
All right.
All right.
Have you guys ever wondered about that beach, man?
No.
No, I've never. One thing about that beach, dude, it's never ever been investigated. I don't think so by a paranormal investigator. But you have to look at all the lives that died on that beach in the invasion of Europe.
Mm.
That was the center spot. That was the vocal point of the invasion. And you got all these Germans with these 50 cows just spraying humans 18, 19, 20 years old. Man,
Yeah, true.
can you imagine that?
I can't.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Then next stop, we're going to zoom over to Germany, which is not too far from France. We're going to go visit Auschwitz.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That'd be
Some
crazy.
Mind you, bring some napkins because anything you're going to encounter there, it's going to be sad. It's going to make you want to, cry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So much death there, man. To this day, there is so much ash there. I don't think they will ever get rid of that ash. There's so
Probably
much
not.
ash on that property, and we all know where the ash came from.
Mm-hmm.
It came from I can't even count how many coal fires they had. They were throwing bodies in, and just burning people up, and all the smoke. It's horrible. But that's where I would go, on my bucket list, only because you don't hear a lot of people talking about it as far as investigating. I'm
Oh,
not,
Yeah, true.
I'm not saying that a guy from France has not investigated, but I've never saw it on YouTube,
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen anything either.
or I never seen anything about Auschwitz on YouTube. First of all, they don't allow cameras in there.
That would be good reason.
That would be one of those things that, yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, guys, tell the world how to get a hold of unknown investigators in Utah.
we got Facebook, we got TikTok, and we got our YouTube channel, The Unknown Investigators. So check us out.
Please check these guys out, man. Hey, if you guys ain't checked them out already, please do so. Let's get these numbers up for these guys, man. On TikTok. Hey, you guys got 1,000 subscribers on TikTok already?
Yep.
Yes.
How the hell, dude? I'm still trying to figure that out.
Hashtags.
And I have all day long, and nobody wants to hashtag me back. I don't know what it is.
You'll get there. Keep pushing.
Yeah, man. I'll keep working at it, But just to let you guys know, man, tonight's podcast was on 8 different platforms tonight. I forgot to mention this, guys, earlier. You guys are streaming live on Kick, Rumble, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Dang.
There's a lot. So, hey, all you guys that are out there that are watching the show tonight, please go over to their Facebook page, their TikTok page, man, and hit those buttons. Let's start looking at what these guys are doing, and let's try to support them as much as we can. You know what I'm saying? But also, don't forget little old me, because I'm trying to get my TikTok up to 1,000 so I can add TikTok to my platform so I can interview other people on my platform on TikTok.
With 9 platforms.
So that'll be cool. And if you guys aren't watching on Bigo, I'm sorry, I could not do Bigo tonight. I don't know what happened, but I know what happened. I ended up using my phone tonight for the podcast instead of my laptop. But hopefully next week that Ethernet cable will be here and we'll be able to go back live like we normally would. This is just a temporary thing, guys. So be patient. You know what I'm saying? But with enough said, hey guys, it's been a pleasure for you guys coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It seems like you guys are heading in the right direction. If you guys ever decide to go over to Dugway and film the night sky over there, please do it live so I can jump into the feed.
Heck yeah, for sure.
I think that place is it's a UFO hotspot.
That's what I hear.
You know, but it's one of those places where you can get close to, where you can't get close to. It also depends on who you know.
Yeah.
It's just one of those places you guys. Have you guys been over there yet?
No.
No, we have not.
Oh man, for all you guys that are into UFOs, I suggest you guys to go over there. And man, there's some unbelievable footage about Dugway. They got this underground. Apparently, they got this underground airstrip. The airstrip opens up, and you see all these lights coming around in a circle, and they stop, and then they'll zoom right on in there and land, and they'll come around again. It's like 50 of them. They'll come right around, stop, and zoom. I think they're waiting for the other one to land so that one can land, and so on. Oh, dude, you got to check that out. That's a pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into that one for sure.
Yeah, man. If you gotta, oh well, I think that I don't know how that got leaked out, but it did. You know, there's people doing all kind of things leaked out these days. But anyway, guys, hey,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Feel free to share this podcast on your social media, you know, and just have fun with it, man. It was a great show. I really appreciate it. A lot of great questions that I asked you guys, and a lot of great responses that you guys give me, man. I really appreciate it. You know,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I just killed the fly.
Get him.
Hey, man, let's do it again. I'll be contacting you guys in a couple of months and checking up on you, see how you guys are doing, see if there are any new members to the team, you know, and possibly, and if you guys done more investigations, if you guys have done, you know, any ufology, if you guys been out searching the skies, I'd like to come back and talk about that. And so on and so on, because there's a lot of questions about UFOs that a lot of people like to ask that are out there. So, but until then, hey guys, you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
You too. Thank you.
Guys, this is Terry with NSPS TV, Paranormal signing off. Hey, you guys have a good night. Peace.